Hey everybody, Adrienne Everheart here with you. I wanted to do a quick video for you tonight because I had a client write me, a very good friend of mine, a longtime client, and she said, Adrienne, you have got to help me because I have got the moodiest guy. So she's met a guy, she really likes him, they have so much in common. They have wonderful, amazing times together. But then he can also be really moody and just she feels like he doesn't even like her. She feels like he's about to walk out the door on her and they're going to break up. And it just really feels hot and cold because he's really moody. And another thing he does that I'm going to introduce all of you to is something called pivoting. And pivoting is something that you maybe know politicians do this, where you'll be having a conversation about one thing and they'll kind of turn it back around to what they want to talk about. And I apologize for my hair. I was like getting ready for bed and she messaged me and I was like, this is so good. I can knock this one out and help all you girls. So there's, moodiness, there's pivoting, and then there's when they blame you and they kind of take it out on you and, they're the one in the bad mood. And somehow it becomes about you and it becomes about something you have said or done. And what happens is one of you is kind of in a bad mood, but it ends up affecting the both of you, right? So give me thumbs up, click that like button if you understand what I'm talking about here, because you can be having a perfectly normal, wonderful day with your guy, and then, something happens and the day just gets ruined, or it feels like it's ruined. So I'm going to give you some feminine energy techniques that are really going to help you turn this feeling around, because it can make your day feel out of control, make you feel so bad, and really it's such an easy fix. So first thing I want to talk about is that these moody guys, there's kind of two categories, okay? So there's the type of guy that if he has a bad day or, he's otherwise pretty stable, but if he has a bad day or something, he'll get really quiet and he'll kind of shut down on you and you'll know something is up, all right? And that was pretty much my first husband. I never really knew him to be very moody. He was always pretty much consistent. But if he had a bad day, he would come home and his face would look different to me. And if I tried to get him to talk about it, he would shut down even more. So I'm going to talk about that, all right? The other one is there is kind of like this drama king where they go to do the remote control and the battery's a little slow or it doesn't work and they go, and they get mad. Or if they order something and it didn't turn out right, they're like, gosh darn it, this is not what I ordered. So there are those type of guys. Now I'm going to tell you something. Guess what I got in husband number 2? That's right. Jeff is a lot more sensitive and moody when something goes wrong. He's also over here. There he is, smiling. So he is a lot more sensitive and gets upset at what I consider very little things. Now, ladies, you want to ruin your relationship really fast? Here's how you do it. When your guy gets upset at something, act like it's no big deal. Act like it's no big deal and actually kind of get mad at them for getting upset, because that is kind of what I used to do in the beginning when I was in my masculine energy and I hadn't embraced my feminine energy. And I don't know if you've ever had someone do that to you where, I had a girl at a checkout one time just be rude to me. And when I told my husband about it, he goes, well, I thought she was kind of nice. And I'm like, no, you need to agree with me. You need to understand. So anytime someone downplays your emotions, it's a huge trigger. So I'm going to talk about the guy who has the occasional bad day and gets really quiet versus the drama king who just gets upset at a lot of different things, and really sensitive guy. So just real quick in the comments section, I would love for you girls to kind of sound off on if your guy is more of, I get upset at every little thing that goes wrong, or if your guy is more of a, only gets upset and gets quiet kind of once in a while. You never really know when he's upset, which is also equally frustrating. both very equally frustrating. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments just as they pop up. And of course, people who are going to be viewing this video, please enjoy these comments. They're always so much fun when you girls chat and talk about what goes on in your own life. You're connecting with so many other women out there who are experiencing the same thing. And so we all come together as sisterhood, right? Okay, excellent. So we've got some where he's shutting down. You can't even tell if he's upset or not. You don't know. And then we've had a couple of, he's once in a while out of nowhere, he gets mad, right? And we've had some guys that are moody. He's hot and cold and pulls away. A drama king, as I call it. Someone said my guy gets quiet and it takes days for him to come back around. So I'm so happy to be speaking with you all about this. Because I'm going to tell you how to tackle this. So let's start at the top, which is kind of like, what's going on with this guy? So all you have is a sensitive man. That's it. It doesn't mean he's masculine or feminine. Jeff is a very masculine energy man, which I love. I have to think about, kind of nothing when it comes to action. He's just on it. But, he can be moody. He can be very sensitive. And I think that this is really confusing to a lot of women who can be in their boy energy because we are so tough on the outside. We are very tough on the outside, and often we can be crumbling on the inside. So when you've been so super duper tough on the outside and someone else is having an emotional moment, we can sometimes just be lack empathetic and just kind of be hard. And kind of the way our dads raised us to be, or whatever life may have given us, we have learned how to be very tough. So understand first thing that your man is very sensitive. He's just sensitive, and he's having a moment where you can use my really, really get him tool to let him know, like, I'm recognizing that you're feeling something. Because ladies, remember, if we're going to get upset and have moods and things go wrong and kind of lose it here and there, a guy's got to be able to be safe to do that with us too. Now, I'm going to talk about setting some boundaries with that, but understand that if you want that guy to really be there for you and, understand you and really get you, you got to be there with him too on his dark times as well. So he's sensitive, and we all occasionally have to ride the roller coaster with our partner. Now, two things. Men displace their emotions. Have you noticed? They displace their emotions. So like their ball team will lose a game, and then you'll hear cabinets in the kitchen getting slammed. Or they'll get a flat tire, or they won't get a promotion at work, or something else will happen, and they'll just want to play video games for hours. And they really displace their emotions. And so often that men have this anger and they actually don't know what to do with it. Now, whether or not this is a DNA thing or is this society, maybe, a combination of all of these things coming together, well, the psychology of it really doesn't matter. What I want you to be aware of is that they displace their emotions. So unlike women who we can confide in one another and we can spill the whole bag of beans and let you know everything that's gone wrong with us, a man does not do this as easily, and he'll displace his emotion. That's why he'll get mad at you when he's really mad at something else. So understand he's sensitive, understand men displace their emotions, all right? The next thing is pivoting. Now, pivoting used to really drive me like bonkers because I'm a very logical person and I like to follow, very if-then and, Venn diagrams. And I really understand how we're staying on a topic and going to another topic. So pivoting is when you bring up one subject or you're on one subject, and then suddenly your partner will go, and what about the other day? The other day when this other kind of unrelated event happened. And it's almost like they're doing this awful, treasure dig where they're trying to dig up all these old bones wherever they can. They're just stabbing into the ground, trying to dig out whatever. That's what pivoting to me feels like. So you can tell I'm a feminine energy coach because I'm telling you what it feels like. Haunted, digging up old bones, not knowing what we're going to get, and just ping ponging all over the place. And it makes my head spin. So when you have a man who's pivoting and he's just jumping around and going from here to there to there, I think it's really good to show some body language. I talk about how it's okay to act a little bored. You know, if a guy's going on and on and on about something you're not interested in, you can be a little bored. You can show a little boredom. You can also show like, oh my gosh, just on my head. Right, we're on so many subjects. When a guy starts to pivot on you or it gets overwhelming, I want you to be able to turn away slightly and just kind of have this moment. And ladies, I can almost guarantee you when you do this, he will come to you. He will come to you, all right? I talked to a client the other day and she was like, oh, I got so upset. I ran to the bathroom. I was crying and he came in the bathroom after me. And I'm like, of course he did. He's a masculine energy man. I have the tool that I teach you when you're in the car and you're driving along. If you just kind of turn and look out your window, your guy will notice. Your sensitive man will notice that your mood has changed, that your body language has shifted, and that masculine energy will get activated to come in and help you. Now look, do not use this for evil. Use it for good. If you overuse these, things, or if you use them intentionally, a guy's going to pick up on it real fast, and he's going to get really angry because you're manipulating him. So I want to make sure that you're using your body language. Instead of being tough and strong and brave and looking at him the whole time he's pivoting on you or having a bad mood, I want you to be able to go, oh my gosh, oh. Keep nodding. I want you to be able to do that. And just see if he doesn't come your way, okay? I don't want y'all to get into any arguments or have any bad moods and have to use these tools, but if you do, you know what to do now. So I want to tell you how you can actually speak to your man with feminine energy. You guys have gotten really quiet all of a sudden. I hope you're still here and chat with me. My phone hasn't disconnected. But we sometimes want to go, hey, do you want to talk about it? Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened today. And we want to do that. And it's going to be a dead-end road every time with a guy. Or if you think your guy is mad at you and you say, hey, tell me about it, you better get ready to get the riot act read to you. So I actually don't think that this is a good idea to say, hey, can we talk about it? You want to talk about it? You want to tell me what's going on? Because you are not his therapist and you are not his mom. Men do not marry their therapist or their moms. So we don't want you in that role. Instead, I want you to just realize you can always just ask him, like, hey, how did it go today? Or, hey, how did your meeting go? Or, hey, what happened in your game? Or, how did your drive home? How did that go today? And if he's in a mood, he's going to kind of strike back with venom, like, what do you mean how my drive went? Right? You're going to get that a little bit. And don't worry, that's kind of change back behavior. When you start offering some new things, when you change up and get into your feminine energy, the guy will sometimes, do a little bit of change back behavior with you, okay? So I want you to just be aware of that, all right? He'll kind of want you to go back to being who you were. And just be aware of that. This is why it's so important to stay consistent. Stay very much consistent and aware of what you're feeling. Because when you get up in your head, you start thinking, you get all caught up, you engage, you get caught up into the drama, you lose your stability, and I want you to stay really, really grounded, all right? So you can ask him, how did it go today? Now, if you've got a moody guy and he is raging on you and he's yelling and he's being loud and he's doing things or doing, threatening actions or something like this, because occasionally, a man can act this way sometimes, and it's not okay. We have a rule that's no yelling. And I'm a very emotional person. My husband's, sensitive and emotional. And we can get loud kind of quick when we're passionate about something. But we will each say to the other one, like, you're getting loud. No getting loud, or like no yelling. And I want you to be able to have that with your partner. Like, oh, no yelling. Yelling scares me. Yelling totally freaks me out. if I have someone yell at me, like I'll start shaking. And it just completely unnerves me. And so my husband knows this. So even if he gets passionate and he gets loud, no yelling. Now, when I yell, it's perfectly okay, right? But it isn't. So if I get upset about something, if I want to raise my voice, I really, I'm learning how to find what I'm feeling, find the thoughts I'm thinking. And it's usually not as big of a deal as I'm thinking it is. What I'm feeling in my body is never as big as what I'm thinking, because I'm always thinking something worse. That's what our brains do, right? Our brains are always reaching for what's negative. That's just what happens. First thought is usually negative. So just begin to notice this in yourself, observe it in your man. This does take practice. Feminine energy totally takes practice. It is about awareness. It's not just about, being able to meditate or something like that. It is really about being aware of what you're saying, why you're saying it, what is the outcome of why you want to say it, and what's your guy doing. Just observe him. It's a very cool thing to be able to observe and not engage. It's your superpower, ladies. But if your guy is really acting up and he's acting out, you got to be able to have your boundaries. So that means no yelling. Yelling scares me. I'm going to walk away. If you're yelling, I'd like to come back and talk again. If you're not yelling, or if he's going on and on and on and on, I want you to be like, oh, baby, we've been talking for about 15 minutes. This is all I can do. I need to go lay down and take an aspirin. I would love to talk about this more later. You can own that. That's a boundary. That is a boundary. Now, I just said 15 minutes. I can kind of handle about 7 minutes of it. And I think when you look at a clock, again, observe, be aware. When your guy starts talking, go ahead and look at a clock and time it and see when you just let him speak and you don't interrupt him and you don't try to argue your point and you don't try to pivot. Do that and just see what happens. But have your time limit. That's your own personal boundary. All right, ladies, please smash the like button if this has been helping you with your moody guy, or if your guy pivots it and blames you instead. Has this helped you? And I would love to talk to you in the comments for a section. Let's see here. For a second, I had a super chat. Let me see if I can't find it. There it is. GJ, she sent me $5, but I don't see your question. So GJ, if you can just in super chat, go ahead and ask your question or ask it now. Oh, GJ said, yes, big help. Hey, maybe you just got your little super chat money worth. Juanita has a question. She says, how do I do this or deal with a guy who is moody and likes the roller coaster communication? And there is distant cross country. Mind you, we haven't spoken since New Year's Eve. Okay, so first things first, I am not a fan of long distance relationships because they cheat you so much of all the happiness to have with you, and problems like communicating. You really miss out on that. You miss out on that beautifulness of having that argument in the same room and having to work it out. And so when you're long distance, you really miss out on that. And you have to learn how to deal with these problems in a way that really isn't natural to what humans do, which is we live near each other. We live near each other. Now, the fastest way to cure a long distance relationship is to move near each other. That's all you got to do. Move near each other, and you got to date. But if he's being moody, haven't spoken since New Year's Eve, I would just let him know how I feel. I feel really sad about things, about how things went down, and it would feel really wonderful to connect and just see if that doesn't open some communication, because all you're doing is telling him how you feel in that moment. You don't have to call him or anything like that to make this happen. You can just tell him how you feel and then lean back and see what he does. Oh, Amber, thank you for the super chat and the super sticker. That is a cute little creature there. Amber, do you have a question for me? Rebecca says, do you have any advice for embracing your inner girl? You know, Rebecca, I don't know if you have any of my programs, but I have something called a VIP library that has a whole book about embracing your inner girl. And just things you can do, such as spending an afternoon with her, checking in with her and asking her how she feels about things. My inner girl really loves arts and crafts. Recently, I took an online class through the North Carolina Museum, and we did collages and we painted and we did sketchbooks, and that's stuff my inner girl really, really loves to do. And she loves bubble baths. So you got to spend time with her. So just allocate time with her. And if you have children, you can actually spend time together with your children and your inner girl and see what happens. See how that magic happens when you just kind of let your inner girl kind of hang out and be with you all. I hope that helps you. Amber, I'd love to answer your question if you can. She just sent me a thank you, so I'm just going to check top chat here, and we'll take one more question. Juanita followed up, and she says she's not trying to initiate, but she's trying to get more comfortable with her feminine energy. Good job. Keep up the good work. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. What can I say? We got a lot of strong, powerful, dynamite women out there, and it's, for me, it's a daily thing. I mean, I'm glad I do this for a living because it really does help me stay in check with my energy, because I would just be bossing everybody around and making everything happen. And I would be exhausted. Okay, I would be exhausted. Let's see, I'll take one more question. Oh, and Juanita, by the way, if he's a roller coaster guy, at some point, you just got to be aware of what you really have with this man. You know, you got to, this is really who he is. It might just be too much drama for you. You got to figure that out for yourself, okay? All right, let's see what else we have here. Take one more question. Oh, I see. What do you do when an ex is saying he still looks at our pictures and wishes things were different, but he says he's glad that I am getting on with things? These exes, I tell you. Well, first of all, do you have my program, the ABCs, to get him back? Even if you don't want your ex back, it's actually a really good program because it teaches you how to rebuild yourself from heartbroken and love-starved, which is usually where we're at when we're in these situations. And then we end up attracting guys that are down in that same murky water as us. And so the ABC actually rebuilds you and helps you redefine who you are and also rebuild with your man. Okay, so if he's saying things like this, he's definitely testing the waters with you. And then he's like, oh, you know, it's better off you're getting on with things. And so I would just really ask him, say, oh, it's so sweet that you look at our pictures. I'm feeling like there's something more still here. What do you think? All right, so I feel like there's something more here. What do you think? Same for all you girls. If there's a guy that you're like, I think he might like me, but I can't tell, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, it always feels so good to chat and hang out, but I feel like there's a little something more here. What do you think? And a guy will go, what do you mean? And go, well, you know, you commented on how much you like to look at my pictures and how much you like to think about us, and I can't help but feeling like there's more here. And you go broken record with that, all right? So check out my program, ABCs, to get him back. Ladies, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, please go find me over on Instagram. I do so many fun things over there with my stories and my posts, and I sometimes do Instagram lives. So please go follow me on Instagram. And I'm not sure why I brought that up, except I was about to get off this live video with you all. And please do make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with a girlfriend if she has a moody guy, or if you know you have someone you know that is feeling like they're in a really tense relationship. This will help you peel your energy off the guy and get your focus back on you. And ladies, I want to tell you, your awareness is everything. The thoughts you're thinking are everything, because that's what's dictating what you're feeling. is that we have a thought like, he shouldn't be acting like this. He shouldn't be doing this. Why is he behaving like this? So we have some thought in our head, and when you get to slow down and you realize your inner boy is trying to run your relationship, you're really able to slow down and just look into your partner's eyes, see them as a really sensitive guy. This one, very sensitive, and just slow down and really get them and be there for them. You know, and it only takes a couple of minutes. It's so easy to do. All right. Okay, everybody. Please give me thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Find me on Instagram. I love to hear from you in the comments section. If you have a follow-up question that I didn't get to during chat, feel free to go ahead and write it in this video, and I'll be sure to answer it. All right, everybody. Sending you much love. Have a good night. Bye-bye.